This is Jeff Jennings with BIModular. In this video, we're going to go through the process of using Family Type Manager Pro version to create a master catalog of a metal framed clip with all parametric values. We'll build out all the different types for the manufacturer's criteria of clip offerings. We'll also go ahead and generate that and convert it, that catalog into a master catalog with multiple language type configurations, and also in Imperial and in metric. So the end result is you'll have one family, however, with multiple different type catalogs you can provide your clients to in any country in their language and in their unit of measure to be utilized in their projects. As a manufacturer, you don't have one family to manage. You have a master catalog, so one catalog to manage all of your different products, all your parts, all your historical data, changes, languages, and offerings. So in this video, we're going to go through that process to create such. And right now you're looking at here is just a standard clip that is set up here for a structural connection. I'm using Revit 2021. It can be any version of Revit you want. And look here, here's a plan view. I've got a W for my width. I also have my left elevation here for leg 2 height, leg 1 height. And I go to look at my properties here of that family type. You'll see here information I'm collecting, which I've entered in. I've created one name called default. And here's my measurements in Imperial for my leg 1, leg 2 thickness and my width, as well as my manufacturer name. If we want to change this to example, we can do that as well too. And here's my website, and here's my description I want to use. So I'm going to apply this and such. Now I'm going to go back in here, go to File, Save As, save the family. This has already been saved. I'll just press Save. And I'm going to go ahead and export a type catalog for this. So I'm going to go to File, Export, Family Types. So from here, I've got a type catalog, light gauge. Nothing's in place right now, so I'm going to press Save. And I've now exported a type catalog. That's done. Our next step here is what we're going to do is go into Family Type Manager and create every single possible configuration of clips in a matter of seconds. And then go ahead and do a conversion from Imperial to metric, and then change languages. So that's next. So I have opened up Family Type Manager Pro version. Pro version includes the type builder, parameter builder, unit measure converter, and scratch and these other tools: Scratchpad, catalog manager, and lookup manager. So what we're going to do is press continue. And in here it opens up to type builder. The first step we have is to go ahead and I'm going to do Scratchpad. You're able to manage and keep all of your family of files in separate locations on your network. So in this case here, I'm going to go ahead and import a file. And this is all my manufacturing data. So I'll go back in here to my C drive. I'll go to Autodesk. I'll go to my sample files, Scratchpads, and here's my all utility clips. It's going to open up the file for me to go ahead and select an area to copy. Here's information, click OK. Pick where I want to paste the data. And now I have the information available for me to work and build out this catalog. So in this example here, we've got information about the parameters who are utilizing in this family for our description, manufacturer, URL. Here's examples of what it looks like. And we also sell this clip in different parts of the world. So here are the languages we're going to be utilizing. And here are measurements for both Imperial and for metric. Finally, type builder, we can generate the separators are used to create the type names. And then we also have some formulas in here we'll use for creating our description and our mill thickness of material. So to proceed forward, let me go ahead and just grab this information here for our Imperial data, because our Revit family we already created was an Imperial. And that's our default for the company. However, in this second half of this video here, we're going to create a metric catalog that is utilized with our Imperial family. So we copy this data. I'm going to come back here to type builder. I'm going to come in here to this section and I'm going to paste my values here. So now I've got my thicknesses, my width of the material, my leg 1, leg 2. So we're going to press new configuration. and it's going to let us know a warning message about proceeding forward. Click OK. And it's done. It's just generated 420 unique combinations that are available by this manufacturer. So if I scroll down here, and I'll zoom in, you'll see here we have every single mill thickness, width, leg 1, leg 2 measurement for the entire project, all the way through here. Now what we're going to do here is move back up here to the top, and I'm going to begin the process of transferring this data over. So in this case here, we offer as a company all of these options. So I'm just going to select this column here, just do a transfer mode, and we just now transfer 740 of these every options in place here. This is highlighted to show which ones we've transferred. And here's the rules. So now we're going to start using the separator tool to create these values. So we come back here to Scratchpad, and we are going to be doing is we're going to start now the process of rules naming. So I'm going to come back in here and start pasting information. So paste that value. Now we get the LUC condition in place, and we're going to come back here and finish the rest of these changes. So grab my mills, put that right here, grab my width, and lastly the separator between the two legs. And at this point here, I don't like this value being shown as 30.003, so I'm going to go do a modification. I'm just going to call this now 43, 56, and 68. So now I'm much happier. I've got this thing laid out the way I need. I also want to go ahead and just do is I prefer to have a little bit of a for our leg utility clip or L utility clip, make a little space. So we have now automatically named all 420 different family types in a matter of seconds. From here, let's go ahead and add some data for our family as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just add some additional columns. And let's go ahead and add 4 in this case here. And I'm going to set up here, this one's going to be my mills, this will be my description, and my manufacturer, and my URL. We don't have to plug in everything in here because we can do that in the type catalog, but I'll show you what's going to happen. So I'll go back to Scratchpad because I know our BIM manager set up our rules, so we're going to convert our mills. This is commonly do for a lot of our projects. So we're going to do an equal sign here. Oops, let me go into my thickness, I'm sorry. We're going to change that. Let's just go right here and do this. And pick this column. And now we have all of our mill thickness. Let's also go ahead and do our description values. So in our descriptions, we'll go and grab this value right here because we're going to reference now the mills that we've set up. So I'll come here, description, I'll throw an equal sign in here and paste what we want. Click OK. So now we have our values. I'll go ahead and do left side here. Here's all of our clips, and we'll come back across here and bring it all the way down. So now we've provided a description value for our models for everything in here. You can also, if you want to, do it in here, or you can do it in your edit type catalog editor. But let's say our company is example, and our URL is here. And for the clip direction, we'll place that as well too. Grab both those, fill it down. So we now have created every single possible configuration. We've created all of our type names and our conditions here. So now we're into the Family Type Catalog Manager. In this area, we're able to load in our Family Type catalog, and then we're also able to make modifications shortly, and then export the data back out to Revit for use in Revit. You're also able to do is generate actually default types with your catalog, and also create the to use here for our international and multi-catalog. This tool right here as well. So what we're going to do here first off is go ahead and import in a catalog. So we're going to pick the one we exported from Revit, click OK. It's going to read the file, and we let the notepad here, it's going to pop up for a couple seconds, close off, done. we now have a file in place here. I don't want the default elevations as part of my default catalog. Everything else in here is fine to be used. I do want to reorganize this so when the client opens up the catalog, it's in an order that I want them to see. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to grab our description first. So let's go ahead and put that over here. Insert cut cells. I do want to go ahead and show my thickness options because gauge matters first. Insert that. Then my web. Then my, let's go ahead and throw in here my L1 value. And lastly, my L2 value. URL, manufacturer, language information, that's all fine as is. Just throw manufacturer in front of that. And there. Okay, so I have language in here because we're creating a multi-catalog so we can distribute one family across multiple territories around the world. That way we know if CH is Chinese or TH or Thai, EN for English, FR for French, and such. And we'll do that here in a few minutes. So we have one ready to go here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come back in here to Type Builder, and we're going to start now bringing this information over. So I'm going to copy the clipboard. I'm going to go ahead and select all of my types. Click OK. Where do I want to go? I'm going to go to Type Builder. I'm going to go here to my type name, and I'm going to go ahead and press OK. Now I've copied over all 420 of those in here for my type names. Now all I need to do is run my description, and then I'll run my other values. So we'll come back in here, come back in clipboard, let's grab our description, click OK, type catalog, and there. That's done. We're going to grab the group now of all of our information here. So clipboard, and I'm going to now grab this data. So my thickness, my width, my leg 1, leg 2, and my, actually not the mils. We don't need that right now. We're just going to copy that part in here. Click OK. Type catalog right here. Click OK. And we copied all that data now. And lastly, we've got the manufacturer URL. That's not going to change. Go there. And let's go ahead and set this one up here for our EN catalog. So there we go. We now have created a type catalog of all 420 combinations we have that we offer to the client base. So at this point here, we have everything set up. We have our measures in place, and we're going to export our data, and we're going to export this catalog. Do you want to create a backup? Sure, yes I do. Backup's been created. Overwrite that. This previous one, click OK. And we've now overridden our previous type catalog with the new type catalog. So I go in here to click open. You will now see the full new type catalog of all options for our clients. This can be any material or anything else you want to throw into your catalog. You can control and manage. And in any language as we're now about to see. We're now going to go ahead and create a default types catalog. Default types catalogs are when you load a family into a project, it's going to automatically load these particular default types into each project. Default type catalogs can be either utilized for families that you always have that information loaded into every single project. These are the standards. Or B, maybe for a manufacturer, these are your top 5 best-selling products that you know that most likely clients are going to want to be utilizing in their projects. So with Family Type Manager, it's extremely easy to create a single or multi-type catalog. All you have to do here is check option B for default types, select it. It's already been pre-filled in. So in this case here, I'm going to use the word default. This can be any language you want. And I'm going to set up here now instead. This is for us, multi. And we're going to now create a file here called multi. This way internally we're able to, as a manufacturer or architect, we can then, BIM manager, we can load all our files into the family, but share the type catalog separate. So to do that, all we have to do now is come in here and let's pick what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and just try to keep stuff into the heavier material. So maybe our most common products are right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and pick the 16 and 14 gauge material, and I'm also going to throw in some values. Again, you just want to kind of pick what you want. It could be any kind of character we need. All we're doing is looking for a character in this field and put one more. So we picked 5 total. So in this case here, I'm gonna go ahead and come back to export data. And I'm going to now create a type catalog with 5 options. That's done. So go in here to look at open. You'll now see we created the multi-catalog, and here are the 5 that we selected. So we can then later on in Revit load these back into the family as our default standards. And here's our master catalog of all 420 options. That completes the process of the default catalogs, and now we're going to go into creating a master catalog with all of the international and changed to metric and imperial settings. So first step we're going to do is create the imperial master catalog, and then we'll create a metric master catalog. So the imperial master catalog will be holding all of our material, all of our data for all of our imperial settings, and then our metric catalog will hold all of our data for our more global demand clients, which would be metric and also in any language as well too. So both of these catalogs are going to still be utilized within one family name, which is our governing family for the company. So to do that, we're going to do is click right here, and we're going to create now our Imperial Master Catalog. So I'm going to activate this. Again, this is our catalog we have. I'm going to take note right now. This was filtered a minute ago for only 16 and 56 mil and 68 mil material, and we have some controls in here to take care of the filtering environment. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to click the copy import name, yes, and that allows us to now have all this data being written back to our same default location. However, I'm going to now name this, this is our master Imperial. And that's it, and I can go ahead and just generate the new type catalog. It's going to ask me, hey, this catalog's been filtered. Do you want to export as a filtered list or unfiltered? So I'm going to go ahead and just do the no, so I can export every single thing in here. Done. So if I go in here to my open tab, you'll now see the Imperials listed, and it has everything, all of our 33s, our 43s, 56, 68, all 420 options. All right. So to create an international catalog in a metric, what we're going to do first is come in here to our catalog editor here. We're still in the same file originally. Let me go back and just do the unfilter. Remove filters. So everything's been now, all filters have been removed. And we have the ability to, we need to change this information over from Imperial to metric. So I'm going to just highlight these cells, do a find and replace. I'm going to type in inches, and replace here with in millimeters, and we'll go back in here and just press replace. You also need to uncheck your entire cell, so look in the part value and go replace, 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 and close it out. Now we've converted our our catalog into a metric based catalog. Now with all these values, there's 2 ways of doing this. One is going to be with the unit and measure converter. The other one is going to be with type builder. I'll show you both of them. The first one here with unit and measure converter, this is going to just grab all of our values in here. That's done. I'm just going to go ahead and copy those. I'm going to come to my unit and measure converter. Give me a header 1, and I'm going to paste these values. So they're there. This is already set up here, but if you want to change from metric to imperial, in this case here we're doing from imperial to metric. We're doing inches. That we originally designed it, and now we have our meters, and we want to do it in millimeters. So at this point here, just convert, 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 and that's it. So we have everything now converted from imperial to metric. I'll go ahead and click on the copy all values, come back to our type catalog. I'll go ahead and place it, make sure I'm actually at the very, very top, where I'm going to paste my data, top left corner, click right here. Click OK. Do I want to do headers or not? No, I don't. And I've now transferred over all of my values from imperial into metric. ready to go for the files. Now, we also have to deal with the fact of we have Imperial values here, metric values here, but we have Imperial information here. So we really like to use this type builder for doing this because our data is still the same. So what we can do here is go back into type builder, actually Scratchpad. I'm going to go ahead and grab our information here that we have for Imperial for metric. Go to type builder. This is actually quite interesting. We're going to paste that information. So now we have our metric information in here. We still have all our formulas and rules in place here, so we want to be careful about that. And all we need to do is press this revise configurations. So we'll go and click there. It's going to tell you what's going to happen with regard to the operation. Click OK. And it's done. It's got all 420 recreated. Here's the information here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select the cells we have and transfer those values over. The nice thing is that Family Type Manager maintained all the rules you had. So everything we set up beforehand for our naming conventions for our formulas have already been attributed to here. So now we may want to go ahead and we know we don't want that value to be 1,000 anymore, just be by 1. So we want our mills like this. And now we have our information set up here for all of our sizes. And at this point here, we can go ahead and transfer this information directly over into our catalog. So either A, we already have the data transferred over, or B, we can just go back and just select, let me go and pick my type name, go to my type catalog. I'm at the top here, I'm going to go to my type name and press import, and it's done. So now everything's been converted here for the metric. Same for our description. If we want to do that, we can come back in here and press our clipboard, select our description category column, click OK, and go back to our type catalog, select top cell, and click OK. So we now have a catalog that's fully set up for our type name, our descriptions, and all of our values. At this point here, this is our, we want to now convert this over into, start to save this as our metric, and this will be metric English. So we're set up here, we'll go in here to our export. We're going to change this information here to metric, like type, and go ahead and generate out this report. That's done. So we now have is two master catalogs. One's Imperial and one is metric. Here's your millimeters shown here, and while this one here is showing your inches. Now we're going to create a international catalog, or create international versions catalogs using the master catalog in metric. So to do that, what we're going to first of all do is, I'm going to show you here, we've got, of course, our standard metric catalog here already set up. Now we need to change this over to a different language, and this to a different language. So I'm going to do is grab here, selecting all 420 of them. I'm now going to select copy the rows. I'll use the existing ones we've copied and copy those to the bottom. That's now done. Go back and just delete that row right here. And we now have all of our stuff here for in this language. So let me go ahead and set up here. I'll do Chinese first here. So go ahead and just double click through. I'm going to resize this table. Everything's been resized. We now have our Chinese. So let's go ahead and just do this here. We're going to just filter by Chinese. Now we need to change our name here, description, to be in Chinese. So that's where we go back to our Scratchpad. So I've got Chinese right here. Let's select that. Come back in here to our type catalog. I'm going to select this item here, and we're going to do a find and replace. And in this case here, I'm going to change my, do L clip utility, and I'm going to make that the Chinese version by rows, and go ahead and uncheck there as to replace all. And it's now replaced all 420 of them. So we now have a catalog ready to go in Chinese. I can go here now as well and select this again. And I'm going to now copy the existing. sure that's all the way through. Be careful about that. Let me press no. When I exit, yes I do. And I'm going to just come all the way down here and select this filter table to here. And I'm going to now copy these rows. There we go. 422 to 841. Select. And now we go right here to this point. And I'm going to go ahead and call this TH for tie. Type through. Let's go ahead and make this one now a tie. And I'm going to select these rows, find and replace. So you can grab my tie first. So let's go in here for our tie information. There it is. So I'll come back in here for our type catalog. Let me select this group, do a find and replace. Paste the tie, move the Chinese up. And we're going to press to do replace all here. And all those 420 now replaced. Now our next one we're going to do is same thing, and let's go and do a French catalog. So we'll select right here. Let's go also now copy those down. Use the ones we've already selected right here. Click OK. And now we come back in this point and make this FR. And bring it down. Now we'll go ahead and filter this down here to being a French catalog. Same thing, we're going to come back here to our scratch pad, grab our French information. Go right here. Let's go ahead and select this group of cells. Let's do a find and replace again. Put the French right there. Let's grab this tie, bring it back, do replace all. And now we have our French catalog. So like that, we now have 4 international catalogs. We have English, Chinese, French, and Thai ready to be sent over to our customers. So what we can do now is let's go ahead and export out a French catalog. So we'll go in here to our export tab, and we're going to now also create a family with this. And I'm going to select my path. So I'm going to go ahead and first I'm going to do my copy import name. That's what I want. And I'm going to now change my path though. And I'm going to change the path like H. And I'm going to create a folder here called FR for France. Activate it. Click OK. Again, we already have a filtered catalog by France. You can see that very quickly right here. And we'll now export out this data. So I can go in here and just do this button here, generate the new family and a catalog. So we'll actually duplicate a Revit family and also make the type catalog for French only. So we'll go ahead and just press generate here. And it's going to, you want to do filtered, unfiltered. In this case, we just want to send a filtered table out. So we'll click yes. And now we've generated out a filtered table in place. And if we want to also do a filtered table by catalog, we still have our original defaults already shown here. So we can come back in here and export out our default category. Do you want default types? Do you want a default type catalog for the new catalog family? Click yes for the new family or no for the original family. So I'm going to do yes for the new family. And that's done. So now if I go in here to my catalog, you'll now see that I've got the multi-type catalog shown for the French only FR conditions. And here's our multi-type catalog also for French only. Now let's go through the process of creating the catalogs for Thai and for Chinese. So to do that, we're going to come back in here to our type catalog. And we're going to now change our filter to Thai. And we'll come back in here to our type catalog editor, and we're going to pick a new path. In this case here, create a new folder here. I'm going to call this one here TH. Pick it. Now we have the TH path shown, and we'll go ahead and generate out this file. And that's done. And we can also now go back in here and do the same thing for a Chinese catalog. So we'll go to Chinese, come back to our here, and we'll now create our folder here for Chinese. Now we're in a Chinese folder. Go ahead and generate that. I guess same thing for a filtered list. And like that, we have now created the files for, this case, Chinese, and it's everything in Chinese. If I want to come back in here, look at my calendar catalog for French. So earlier, here's the French. If I want to look at the one for Thai, come right here, and we now have Thai. So the next video, we're going to go through here and actually open up a project and see all of these parametrically created families and in different languages, all from one Revit family itself. Yeah, I've just opened up Revit 2021, and in this case here, we're going to go ahead and load in a the default catalog that we generated earlier. So to do that, you'll see here, first of all, we only have just this default shown that originally we had from getting the video. I'm going to go in here to Insert tab, go to my Import Family Types. In this case here, I'm going to come back and pick my multi. This is the multi we generated earlier. Click Open. It's going to ask you, what do you want to do? I'll go ahead and just keep the existing type and import the only new ones. You can also override, however you want to set it up. So that's done. If I go in here now and look at my types, you will now see we have our default, plus the other ones we set up here as well. So here's your information. Apply. Here's that size. Let me go ahead and back up here a little further and see what's going on. Go back to the Type Manager. Let's go ahead and set up another one. Apply that. So all of these were all done parametrically, just in a matter of a few minutes. Actually, the parts and products in a matter of a couple seconds. So we see everything we have. And every single thing is properly named by its size according to what we have generated for the model. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, we can either keep that loaded and saved, or I'll just go ahead and just close this thing on out. And I'm gonna show you what happens in a new project. I like to keep on international catalog, just keep it standard or default. That's one thing, because you don't want to load a default types that are in English if you're trying to send the family over to clients in China or Thailand or France or the regions. So keep it standard is fine. So again, we still have an Imperial catalog, family type. What we're going to do is open up a new project here. And I'm going to do is just show you example. I'm going to open up an Imperial template, but we're going to be loading our metric data into here. So we have a raw file now. I'll go and throw into a 3D view. And we're going to now do is our Insert Families, load a family. In this case here, I'll go to that folder. We'll have these files saved. This is under our type catalogs like age. And we'll go ahead and just load this standard English file here first. In place, click Open. And automatically it's now brought up our full catalog of all 420 components, all in English. So let's just say I'm going to grab, let's just grab these larger ones down here. Just so I show different conditions in the catalogs. So go right here, and I'm going to do the other languages in different gauges. So click OK. So now we've got, in our families, we've got structural connections. Here's the clip, one family. And if I go and drag my stuff over, you'll see different sizes automatically appear. Now let's go ahead and run. And I'm going to pick the Chinese. And in this case here, we're going to just pick some of these components in here at the 0.8. So now you see here, I've got data in here of all these components that we know are Chinese. All the same family, same product, just named for each country. And if I were to go and click on this product here and open my type information, you'll see it's in Chinese. If I go to here, this is all in English. And the nice thing is that this is now showing you the information. I've got multiple catalogs in different languages being loaded into an Imperial template using Imperial Family. So you can really intermingle between a metric family to Imperial templates and vice versa. And so this way now your type catalog, which is most important to your customer, they can see what they need. I'll go ahead and load another family in here. Let's go ahead and load the tie. So here's tie. Now here's all my tie information. So I'm gonna go ahead and come down here and I'll pick some stuff here for tie. And I'll go ahead and also load my family in here for French. And here's my French. So like that, we now have our Chinese. Here's some Thai information. And here's some French information. At this point here, I can click on this one and you'll see this is all in French. If I come back to this one here, 1.1, it's all in Thai. Then I come back in here, there's your Chinese, and here's your English. So that is how you can use Family Type Manager Pro version to quickly generate every single possible combination you need. Both Family Type Manager Pro and Standard editions allow you to still have the ability to create master type catalogs for your family types, as well as also the ability in here too for your lookup tables. So at that point here, if you want to now create this one here, let's go back to the last step. We've got a master catalog we want to create now for future use. So I'm going to select this catalog. I don't want to do the family. I now want to select my path, which I'm going to go back to my default location. So now we're back to our default location, and I'm going to set this one up here for future use now as my master and metric. And at this point here, I can go ahead and just press generate the new catalog. I want to make sure I'm selecting no. I want to go ahead and remove the filters temporarily, export the entire table, and return filters back. Yep. So now if I go in here, you will see we now have a master catalog to use in the future, and it has every single language and all the different sizes associated for our world clientele base. So in the future, when you need a file, just go in here to import type catalog. We're going to work on the Imperial one. Click this. It's going to now load Imperial. And here's your Imperial catalog. And we know that by going to a filter. I just type English. We'll come back in here again. We're going to load now our master for a metric. It's going to read this file. And we just now loaded 1,680 different family types and in all different languages. Thank you for watching.